If you can't prove the ROI of employee advocacy, you don't have a strategy, but you do have hope. Welcome to the Social Media CX Podcast. I'm Brooke Sellas, CEO of B Squared Media, and each week we'll tackle the challenges of social care head on with candid interviews, real-world case studies, and actionable advice to turn your social channels into loyalty-building, revenue-driving, dopamine machines. Welcome back to the Social Media CX Podcast. I'm Brooke Sellas, and I want to get real with y'all. Leadership doesn't care how many likes your employee posts got. They care about the results, and too many advocacy programs fail because they stop at vanity metrics. So today we're talking about how to measure what actually matters, which is ROI, or return on investment. First, let's start with what to measure. I want you to stop counting clicks and start tracking business impact. There are 3 levels of measurement you can use right now. Number 1 is engagement, because engagement is advocacy. So I do want you to measure likes, comments, and shares, but only as leading indicators. Then I want you to track how much further reach your employees' content gets versus the corporate pages. This is a really nice A/B test or comparison. Then I want you to track advocacy turning into trust. You could survey your customers. Are employee posts influencing how customers perceive your brand? Marketing and sales will need to be on the same page and have buy-in so they can help you understand this data. Then I want you to also think about watching sentiment shifts. Are conversations around your brand more positive after advocacy spikes? More neutral, more negative? I'm assuming they'll be more positive, but you catch my drift here. Sentiment is a big indicator on advocacy turning into trust. Finally, I want you to look at advocacy and revenue. So track referral traffic from employee posts. Use UTM parameters for that kind of thing. Tag any leads in your CRM that come from advocacy-driven social clicks or links or conversations. And don't forget about Rashad said about metrics around employee recruitment and employee advocacy or retention, meaning the employees decided to stay maybe because morale or the company culture is better. If you're loving these conversations and thinking, wait, my team needs this energy and this strategy, then you need our Care Squared training program. It's our signature social media customer care training, built to help brands turn comments and complaints into conversations that retain customers, boost loyalty, and prove a return on investment with your social. From real-time response tactics to empathy mapping and intent tagging, we teach your team how to deliver standout customer experience in the DMs, comments, and beyond. Less, thanks for your feedback, and more, let's turn this into a win. Head over to bsquare.media/care to learn more and book your training, because social media is customer care now, and it's time your team acted like it. Then I want you to think about proof in numbers. So let's put some muscle behind all of this. I want you to build a dashboard that shows how advocacy leads to customer experience or CX and what that CX experience has on revenue as far as impact. So for example, maybe your advocacy posts get 4 times the engagement of the page post. Whoa, that's a big thing. Let's show that in the dashboard. Maybe engagement led to more customers' questions being answered on social, right? What we see a lot of times with behind the scenes content or user-generated content or employee advocacy content is that it sparks a lot more conversation. Look at that conversation as it's happening. Are more customers asking questions because it's a peer? That's a leading indicator, because answered questions and faster resolution times hopefully means you're closing that revenue or bringing that revenue in the door. That's the chain your execs want to see. Finally, we got to close this loop. So here's how to close the loop and prove value. I want you to pick 3, 1, 2, KPIs that matter to leadership, not to you, but to leadership, the C-suite, the people who are funding this program. The examples here could be NPS scores. You could look at churn reduction, friction points, touch points that are happening, pipeline influence. I don't care what they are because you got to get them from your leadership. I can't tell you what they are. Sorry. Then I want you to run a pilot test. So compare advocacy and those results that you have inside of your dashboard with no advocacy periods. So maybe it's a month on and a month off, a month on and a month off, a month on and a month off. In a 6-month period, what's happening? Look at the dashboard. Look at the differences. Do you see a huge lift during advocacy periods? That's a huge win for getting more budget for employee advocacy going forward. Finally, I want you to tell these stories with data. So don't just show the numbers, show impact. For example, this quarter, advocacy post drove 15 inbound leads, 3 of which closed, and those 3 are worth $250,000. Making that up, that sounds great, but hey, you can do this if you set up the dashboard. Your executives just don't care about vanity metrics. You shouldn't either, but that's another story for another day. They care about outcomes. So here's the challenge. Pick one advocacy campaign this quarter and tie it directly to a revenue or retention metric. And then I want you to come back and tell me, what's the biggest barrier you face improving advocacy ROI? DM me or drop it in the comments. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in to the Social Media CX podcast. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to up their social care game.